How's it going, guys? This is my first devlog for the Summer Frog Game Jam. I'm going to try and video log a few times throughout this game jam, just so I can document the process and events and show off my work a little. We are currently on day 4 of the game jam, technically. We've been given 2 weeks to create a game that follows the theme of the butterfly effect. My spin on the theme may be a bit outside of the box, to be honest, but I'm hoping people can kind of see the vision I have when they come to play and rate the game. So, firstly, I just want to show how I started. When I got home from work, I had a look at the announcement and I saw they gave us the theme, the butterfly effect, which I thought was pretty cool, and I was super ready to start coming up with ideas. I immediately thought of the Life is Strange games, and specifically the first one for inspiration, with the whole idea of being able to rewind time and change events that cause a bigger event down the line. And I was thinking of ways I could reinvent it. At first, I came up with a simple puzzle game where you would be placing a series of items in a specific way to cause a major result. This could be just to solve the puzzle, or maybe some kind of story, or I don't know. It was a very rough draft, but that was the first thing. The other idea I came up with was to have a literal butterfly. You could play as the butterfly, and it could be the butterfly that causes these tornadoes to, I don't know, destroy villages, which could be maybe like a fun little action game. Another idea I came up with, which I actually quite liked, but it's again not something I decided to do, is you could play as a character that is following a butterfly through scenic levels, and eventually it leads you to something important, like maybe like family or just a person of significance. And you could probably design some really nice graphics and maybe some small little puzzles, or maybe it could be like a platformer. Um, and I think the idea could be cool. I might explore that later on, but probably not with this theme. But I eventually committed to an idea. I wanted to come up with just a simple 1 day story where a man wakes up, he travels to work, he ends a shift, and then comes home. I wanted to explore the details of that story and how things can change when you limit the items he can bring on his day out. His phone, money, keys, wallet, all the stuff you probably don't think is important or give a second thought to, and how it can influence his day when changed. The outcomes that branches from these decisions and the knock-on effects they'll have. That'll be my interpretation of the game jam. So this is the level I came up with. It's a pretty simple design. I haven't completely finished it yet, but we've got like a little bedroom, a living room, a kitchen, and a bathroom. It's still got stuff to add for it, but I've modeled all these models myself in Blender, which I'll probably go over near the end of the video. This is kind of like the graphics I want to go for. I've still got to like sort out a bit. I wanted to go for the old retro style graphics because it's probably the easiest to come up with and do within the given time frame. But it's just something I've been interested in at the moment. So in the top left, you'll be able to see you've got 4 little inventory slots. And this is how many items you're going to be allowed to bring with you to work. So, scattered around the house, I've got a few items. I can jump at the moment. I might remove that. It seems a bit unnecessary, but for now I can like run at the speed of light and just jump around while I test the game out, basically. But yes, if we pick up these items, you can see in the top right, I've made little sprites of them, and you go around and pick them up. And if you have your all your inventory slots full, if you press E, you can't pick up anything. And I've also made it so when you press Q, you get a little cursor, and you can hover over your items and click on them, and it will give you some basic information on the items. Kind of just, explain what they will do in the game and how they could affect choices, and maybe give you like some epiphanies, and like maybe that item would have been useful. Oh, that item would have definitely been useful there. It's like, it's like just little like teasers, I guess. But basically, you can interact with the items, and if you want to remove them, you can. So, I got rid of that coin, right? If I get rid of the phone as well, and then press Q again, we can go back into the movement mode, and I can pick up the key now, and it will populate the first slot. And, I got the key now, and I keep it. And yeah, that's what I've got so far. I do need to make it so items can come back to their original spot if you remove them, or maybe they just drop on the floor. I'm not too sure yet, but that's kind of what I got. And then I got these nice models and the textures. At the moment, I'm just using stuff online, putting them through like a pixel generator, and then slapping it onto stuff, basically. That's what I want to do in the end game, but I probably need to take my own photos of stuff to get my own textures, or maybe just find some actual free ones at some point. I'm experimenting with rendering stuff based on like the rooms you go in, just so I can save on like performance. It's a bit experimental on the fly thing that I've just been learning, but yeah, that's all I've got. I'm experimenting with like keeping your inventory if you go to different scenes. So I set up this door which will load the next scene, which will like in the future be him leaving his apartment, right? And then maybe going on the street. But as you can see, you keep your inventory as well, which is going to be useful for when we set up the branching kind of this decision mechanics like later throughout the game. But yes, that's basically all I have so far. And we'll keep it updated as we go along.